Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I am Sen, your executive producer, and thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $20 tier supporters over on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms, those being Samantha Bates, Trevian Alexander, and Elle, without whom we would do nearly as much as we do now. So thank you very much for your support over the years. And those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live! Hello and welcome back to Exandria Rising. I am Sen, your game master for the evening, and I'm joined this week by Shawnee.
Hi, I am Johnny or William, and I'm playing Najka Flamehow, the Orcish craftsman. Fortnite.
And Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy, and at least for the next 4 minutes, I'm playing the Elifir Gilric, who is a water genasi investigator. Not that she's gonna die in the next 4 minutes. I don't know, maybe, but we'll see if I have to hop up.
That would be very impressive. And Drevian.
Drevian, I'm playing Tenebrous, a Jerbean Witch Warlock.
And Holly.
Hey, sorry, my voice cracked. I'm Holly. I'm playing Davina, a Sulky Folk Mystic.
And joining us for the first time in a while, it's Jack.
Yay!
I will be playing, reprising my role as all three good goblins, Meanie Manny Gatsby and Peas, the Bardadin.
And when last we left off, our adventurers had been informed of the activities of some torchbearers out to the east of Western, south of the Turst Fields, by the Cobalt Soul expositor, who was who asked if they could go take an investigation of the ruins, which was agreed to by the group at large. Anyways, we also discovered that, or at least from the perspective of Davina, that Davina is being visited in secret by her ally Hawk, a fellow psionic who is able to make other people not realize he's there through his impressive amount of psionic power. And Davina is herself having some trust issues with the rest of the party, to say it lightly.
With you.
And with all of this wonderful, just perfect recipe of cohesion, as we get our good goblins back, the group went and had a relaxing spa day the night before, and we pick up the morning after, unless there's anything that anyone wants to do before the morning after, with the group of you getting ready to hit the road east out of Western. So, who is the first in the lobby of the inn that you're all staying at?
Of this particular group, probably Najka.
No one's fighting it. So yes. Are you doing any preparation ahead of leaving, or just waiting for everyone else to get up so you can go?
She's getting some last minute tinkering done, finishing out some adjustments on some of the gear that she's brought with her.
All right. Who would be second to arrive? If no one volunteers, I will designate.
Goblins can arrive. It sounds like everybody else is sleeping in.
Very probably.
What takes the good goblins time is walking to the inn, but they are excited to be traveling again, so they wake up early to walk to the inn.
Are you bringing Martin and Victoria with you, or walking just as good goblins?
Now they'll bring Martin Victoria because we're gonna travel. We're leaving the city. They can't leave Martin Victoria behind for
Are
that.
you piloting Martin Victoria or letting Martin Victoria follow behind you at the moment?
Piloting.
Okay. So yeah, so as you're tinkering away, Najka, the doors open, and the large familiar form of Martin Victoria, the Warforged, secret identity of the good goblins, saunters into the inn.
Martin.
And by saunter, I mean
she's
walks very stiffly.
she's adjusting the sights on this massive, large bore rifle.
Gotta get back in character. Martin Victoria pulls up and sits down near so they can take a good look at the rifle. Everyone else is still asleep.
At the moment, things have been a bit hectic, so I'm not that surprised. She's like adjusting sights. She's built what is essentially like an enormous cannon. This gun is large enough that most people who are not Najka's level of strength would need to mount it before they can properly manage it, which is why it does have like a bipod mount at the bottom of the barrel. But it's got an aiming sight built into the back of it, but it very much looks like her project for this particular weapon was how big can I make gun?
How big can you make gun?
At the moment, how big she can make gun is where is the 2d10 plus 1.
Fairly big, but not as big as you can get.
No, I don't have access to any like properties higher than journeyman yet.
Yeah.
I am a walking tank, and I still think that may be difficult for me to wield. It is a very large gun you have made.
Not least of which because it's exotic weaponry and you aren't proficient in it.
Yes.
Yeah. And strictly speaking, it requires a strength of 16 to wield without being mounted.
Yeah, no.
Oh, Sapphire can do it.
Martin Victoria may be a walking tank, but they're not a strength-based tank.
Yeah. If Byron is trained with exotic weapons, then yes, he can absolutely, which I think he is at this point.
Yeah, he's got an 18 strength.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Martin Victoria comes out, sits down, and following after that, let's see. Would Tenebris or Elefira come down next? I get the feeling that Davina is probably going to be last.
So Davina will come down with Ella.
Oh, there you go.
Ella's coming down very quietly. I might be back for the last hour.
All right.
Later.
Let me put my phone in
Bye.
there as the testing.
Yep.
Tenebris comes down an hour after Grouper. Notably with now 2 snakes.
Snakes instead of octopi?
Yep. The octopus requires being on water.
Yeah.
Please come down and talk and have conversation while I fix cameras.
So yeah, Tenebris just comes out with 2 water moccasins wrapped around his shoulders. And serpentining through the sashes that he wears.
You got a pair of new friends.
What happened to the octopus?
Octopus aren't great for traveling.
They do usually need water.
Yeah. Unlike Grouper, who can come and go from water, they kind of need it constantly.
Oh, I was going to volunteer the tub, but it's still less convenient to be in that constantly.
Yeah.
I imagine the octopi are probably more for the ship when we're actually moving along that using the Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'm sure having an octopi would be fine then. Or if we're just hanging out at the base.
Mm.
Or if you're swimming underwater for any given reason.
Can't hear you, son.
Can't hear me?
Yeah, we only got like the last syllable.
I was saying,
of whatever the last
or
sentence
if you're swimming underwater for any given reason.
was. Yeah.
There's nowhere underwater we want to go.
Not yet.
Definitely not. That's certainly not why my armor is built for going underwater.
We've definitely seeded no underwater locations that are of interest to this party.
None whatsoever. All right. So the group of you gather. You acquire your things. You gather your party. And Davina have anything that she wants to do before
Nope.
venturing forth?
She's got that notebook. She's writing things down in it. She will quietly follow the others.
All right. Davina and
How long has
her.
she had this notebook for?
Okay, out of character question, have the good goblins been with us this entire time?
Yes, this is a good question.
They've been largely working as guards at the market, so they have not been around a lot. They've been around, but not around a lot. They haven't been doing any of the big name stuff. It's been a little bit.
Then this is probably the first time you are seeing her with a notebook scribbling things down.
Okay.
Oh, and actually, we need to go ahead and do we did this for everyone else because that's why I can't remember how it ended because we ended on bastion turns. We need to do the good goblins bastion turn since they're back now.
Oh, I'm definitely prepared for that.
Well, yep. Let me see.
I said
here.
lying.
You think your I think your bastion turn is fairly straightforward, if I'm recalling correctly.
Because you had the warehouse that's selling things
Yeah.
and the library that's looking things up, or are
No,
you not one of the ones in the library?
Barracks. No, armory.
Right, yes. The warehouse and the armory.
So your armory is going to be it's already filled itself up, I believe. So your warehouse is probably going to be selling things that it's previously gathered, and you're going to be
Yeah.
doing a standby a maintain order for your armory. So there will be 500 gold available for you at the end of the week. Well, at back at the bastion, anyways. And let me go ahead and give you a D100 roll for your maintain.
All right. I do love a D100. Give me a little bit of chaos.
It's a little bit of chaos.
75.
I believe the first 50% is nothing major happens. But the back half is when things start happening.
Roll me a D4.
All right. I have no idea what's going on, but I like it.
So in there, hang on. Let me pull up a thing.
One person in our bastion died.
No, actually.
Good.
So you actually received word that one of the leaders of the local Ashari has come to sort of visit and inspect what's going on in the ruins, and basically has been invited in by the caretakers of the bastion to stay a while and observe that you're not bandits, that you have taken that your group is cleaning up the place, taking care of maintaining the location, beginning to facilitate trade with nearby regions, that this is a bastion and not just a bandit hovel at the moment. So
what is this group that you have mentioned?
the Ashari. The Ashari are a collective of druids that exist in a variety of different locations. The closest Ashari, like known Ashari city, or stronghold, or bastion of culture, is Zephyra, which is north of Stilben, in the summit peaks on the Lucidian coast. So presumably Either it's someone from Zephyra or possibly an Ashari from the Ashen Gorge or somewhere in the Stormcrest Mountains that has come to visit. They're not clear on precisely who it is, just that an Ashari of note has arrived and is a guest at the Bastion for a little while. They will be staying for 7 days, and at the end of that, they will take off, and you will get a notice during your next Bastion turn about what happened.
Okay. They generally have a good reputation.
Yes, the Ashari
Yes,
are
the
the Ashari are elementally aligned druids. There are four different tribes largely. There's the Air Ashari, the Water Ashari, the Earth Ashari, and the Fire Ashari.
So either this is totally chill, or somebody is pretending to be a druid.
Well, you have an Ashari working in the
Fuck it
Bastion.
up.
There's a member of the Air Ashari working in the Bastion as a retainer. So
that would be a hard group to impersonate.
Yeah, you would have somebody on staff that can go, "Hey, that person's
That doesn't
faking."
sound right. That's the wrong code word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can assume that this is legitimate.
And they're generally considered like protectors of the boundaries between the material realm and the elemental planes.
They are
and
also
so
heavily inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender because that was the show that Mercia Ray was watching when she came up with her character for Critical Role. Or the home game, anyways, the preceding Critical Role. But yes, only in this case the Fire Tribe aren't assholes that attack people.
They didn't attack?
No, they did not attack. They were attacked, but they did not attack. Anyways,
They didn't change everything?
You have been given an update that you have a guest in the Bastion.
I mean, legitimately, everything did change when the Fire Ashari were attacked because that was Thordak.
Yeah,
that was the
that's
coming
true.
of the Chroma Conclave.
Anyways, but yes, you guys head out. Over the course of the next week, you will have a journey. It'll take about a week to journey to the ruins that you're heading towards. Not that long to get down the road because you're only heading down Parchwood Way towards Terrace Fields, but then where the road turns north towards Terrace Field, you're going to be turning south, which is where it'll take a bit longer because you're going to be going over unpaved wilderness, or rather untrod wilderness in this case. So go ahead. Is there anything anyone wants to do while they're on the road for that week? While you're on the actual road, you're largely safe. It's patrolled by both the Cobalt Soul and the guards from Western. They tend to patrol between Turffield and Western along this path. It won't be until you're off the path that you'll be in potential danger. So is there anything you want to do while you're on the road?
No.
Sounds like a lot of no from everyone. Got it.
Najka might do some crafting, but I need to make plans if I'm going to do that.
Yeah. All right, then. After a week, we're going to have another Bastion turn for everyone. And Good Goblins, you get an update.
Nice.
You get the Ashari in question left the Bastion as a whole a mark of prestige.
Nice.
So this is
Got a
basically
good review on Yelp.
functionally, yeah. This is an item of note that could be a number of different things. Specifically, in this case, it is a letter of recommendation. This is basically if you ever need assistance from the Ashari or need to establish a communication with the Ashari, you've got a letter of recommendation from one of their relatively important figures that will basically get you a foot in the door. If you need to, communicate with any of the local Ashari, or if you needed to go to Zephyra and talk to the Heart of the Storm, or the Heart of the Storm. No, what's Keela's title?
Voice of the Tempest.
Voice of the Tempest. If you needed to go to Sephra and speak with the Voice of the Tempest, the leader of the Arashari, then this letter of recommendation would get you in the door, basically. Or if you needed to go to any of the Terra and speak with their leader, or etc. etc. etc.
There was the visiting Ashari established as Arashari.
This it was not established the message is never established which tribe they were part of. This generally speaking works for any of them. They were I'll say they were not specifically a part of any tribe. They're one of the functionally they work their position is a I've been playing a lot of Dying Light 2 recently, and the only thing I can think of is Pilgrim, which is not appropriate to this setting. But basically, somebody whose job it is to travel between the nations and, make sure that all the pathways are working properly and that everyone's communicating and keeping up with each other.
Boundary warden kind of thing.
Yeah. So basically, their letter of recommendation will work once to get you into into a meeting with any of the leaders of the Ashari.
Should it be necessary?
Should it ever be necessary? But you've got that. You can mark that in your inventory, Jack. Letter of recommendation for the Ashari. That's spelled Ashari.
I got that right. I no-scoped it.
Yeah. Everyone else? Anything in specific you guys are wanting to do on your Bastion turn this week? We're going to have, I'm assuming the good goblins are going to be gathering more
Same
supplies to
again.
sell, so.
Yeah. I'll set Bay. My smithing ticks up to 5 of 6 weeks to build half plates. And my barracks maintains again.
Okay. Let's go ahead and give me a maintain roll. And Jack, you can give me a maintain roll for your armory. It's another D100.
54. 77.
So my barrack
the last
maintains.
We are landing very close.
And my workshop will make a magnifying glass.
All right. Holly, what about yours?
I was thinking, harvest, if anything else,
Mhm.
has grown.
Yeah, no, your harvests are
And,
weak.
yeah. And she's still suspicious of people, so she doesn't want to tell them to research anything right now.
So maintaining again?
I guess just, maintaining.
Roll me D100. We're about to have a rough week of the Bastion. Although, fortunately, you had a visitor, so that'll actually help a little bit.
70.
All right.
Wow, we are all in the same range.
No, same range, but not same events. You all got different events. Firstly, we'll start with Shawnee with the 54. You suffered an attack.
Fortunately, there are two fully stocked barracks.
Yep. Go ahead and roll me 66.
And they're both armed.
Oh yes. What does the armory do again?
23. Let me pull up the DMG.
Armory.
This is what I got the armory for.
While your armory is stocked, your Bastion defenders are harder to kill. When an event would cause you to roll dice to determine if your Bastion loses one or more of its defenders, roll 1d8 in place of each d6 you would normally roll.
Ah, so instead roll
68.
68.
When the event is over, the equipment in your armory is expended regardless of how many Bastion defenders you have or how many you lost, leaving your armory depleted.
All right.
2-1.
So you would have lost two of your defenders, but because the emissary of the Ashari was here, you only lose one. So mark one of your defenders as having been lost, and whatever armory was feeding you materials is now depleted and needs to restock.
That was mine.
All right. For the 57 from Drevian. Or sorry, from the 77 from Jack. We got the hireling, the people that you had hired to run your shop, the warehouse, have gone missing. We're not sure why. No one. All I know is that when they went to check on them and report in, they were not able to be found. Your warehouse will not be functional this week. The hirelings will be replaced or found depending on what happens narratively. But they have gone missing, so we'll lose a week of progress on acquiring more stuff to sell, basically.
That's my warehouse.
Yes, your warehouse. And for Trevian. So it turns out, Trevian, one of your hirelings, from one of the hirelings for your workshop, has an outstanding bounty. Some bounty hunters have arrived, attempting to claim, basically with a warrant for that hireling's arrest. You can retain the hireling by paying a bribe if you want to. Otherwise, that hireling will be arrested and taken away, which will not stop your facility from working. It'll just slow it down.
But it will slow it down.
Yes.
Because you divide the time that it takes to build a thing by the number of people working on it, you'll lose one of those dividers.
Do you wish to pay their bounty?
Nah.
All right. So one of your hirelings is arrested and taken away. So reduce the amount of time that your workshop has, or reduce the amount of progress your workshop makes by the equivalent amount. You will have that hireling replaced by the next week. And Davina. Like I said, you all got different results.
I am gonna have to go deal with a kid in a minute, but let me know what happens.
Yeah.
Or what happened. Real quick.
For you, I think this happened last time. This happened a week or so ago, in game. Roll me a d6.
Oh, did we roll somebody came to stay and paid you for the space?
Yes. You had some visitors to your garden, who asked if they paid for some of the excess herbs that you had access to, and you have currently an extra 200 gold waiting for you back at your bastion.
Okay. All right. I got it.
So 3 negative events, 1 positive. Fortunately, only 1 bastion defender dead. So that having happened, next week is when you'll be able to start replenishing your bastion defenders, and like.
Which, I mean, means my barracks won't be maintaining next week. So.
Yeah, fair. All right. So, that is what happens there as we turn off into the wilderness and head towards the pre-calamity ruins that you were told about. Who wants to roll a survival check for your journey?
I'll
Sure.
do it. I'm not good at it.
Yeah, my survival's only a +1. Yeah. Tenebris with a 15.
1 second, just updating the overlay here. I need to see if OC Remix has done any OC remixes of the soundtrack for Expedition 33, because the music in that game is amazing and stuck in my head. I don't know what they're saying half the time
Because it's usually in French.
because it's usually in French. And when it's not in French, they're just saying the same thing over and over again. Sometimes when it is in French, they're still saying the same thing over again. Alicia's tune in particular, I don't know what they're saying, but it sounds like to me like they're just going Doreen, 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 Doreen. But it's still good music. Consider that endorsement. Anybody watching, if you're looking for a cool modern JRPG or Japanese style RPG to play, I want to say Japanese style RPG because Japanese devs don't like the term JRPG. Japanese style RPG to play. Claire Obscura Expedition 33, very good. Very French, but very good.
So it's a Japanese style RPG made by a French studio.
Yes, I mean that Japanese style RPG still evokes what it is, right?
Yeah, kind of.
That's why we call it the style.
Yeah. Well, 15 from Guardian. So yeah, heading south off the road from Turst Fields is a bit rough. This is not well-trod ground. It's wild. It's a bit overgrown. It's not like it's still plains, so it's still fairly low grass, but it's rough terrain. There's loose rocks and dirt and hills and mud puddles and a variety of various different obstacles that you get while you're traveling over grassy terrain. So it's a bit slow going. It looks like, based on your estimations of the map, it's going to take you about 3 days to get there once you turn off the road, based on that survival check and what you know about its location. 3 days, which means 3 nights in camp. Who wants to? How are you wanting to establish a camp while you're on the road? Are you looking for? Are you trying to establish a safe zone magically, or are you trying to dig into a hillside or underground, or just set up tents and hope? Because it is open grassland.
I don't think there's a thing Najka can build to accomplish any extra defensive tasks.
This is the
off top
difference
of
between a
everything.
craftsman and an artificer, yes.
Yeah.
Although I do love the image of an artillerist artificer that is basically just the engineer from Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
It's just a
I solve problems.
practical problem.
Not problems like what is beauty.
Just two
That would fall within the conundrum of your, within the purview of your conundrums of philosophy.
just two arcane cannons just set up and monitoring. Occasionally going.
No, That'll be before we set up camp. All I can think of is the grass is taller than Tenebris, so Tenebris is just holding up one of the snakes.
The grass is not taller than you. It's low grass. It comes up to
Yeah, but
like
it
your
would be
waist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, flies can have
waist,
really tall
waist high
grass.
to a gerbine.
Yeah, waist high to a Jarvine, yes.
I still think it's funnier if it's as tall as Tenebris, so Tenebris is having to navigate by using the side of the snakes.
I mean, there are certainly places where it could be, absolutely. Yeah. So how are you setting up camp?
Unless anyone's got magic, Najka's just gonna set up camp.
Unless anyone has magic, gestures towards the one magic user left. Or the two magic users left, actually.
Wait, does Worm has move Earth? We can lower recess our camp so it's less visible.
Mm-hmm.
Worm does have mold earth. It would take a while for you to use mold earth to like dig a hole deep enough for the whole camp. Largely because mold earth affects like a 5-foot square at a time.
Fair. I just thought it was worth bringing up because I thought of it.
No, fair, absolutely. You have noticed over the past few weeks, as Worm has been, roaming Western and being a little bit more wild than usual because he has the space to roam. Worm's getting a bit shaggy.
There have definitely been some great games of fetch on the road.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I am unable to recall. Is one of us in possession of a bag of holding at the moment, or am I crossing games?
I don't think so.
Okay, good to know. I was keeping that thought in mind before I start building new sets of armor that I have to carry around.
If anyone is, it's Elefira, but I don't know for certain. Let me look.
I
Nope.
know Tenebris doesn't.
Book bag. Backpack. No bag of holding.
Okay.
So no,
Good to know.
You do not, as a
Keep
group,
that in
have a bag of holding yet. And Tenebris does not yet have his house on chicken legs. That won't come until minimum. Well, how many levels of Warlock did you take?
I have 2 levels of Warlock, so I'm a 6th level Witch.
So that will be minimum level. Overall level 13. If you get nothing but
Yeah.
witch levels from here on out.
Yeah, because that's a Grand Axe.
Yep, Grand Axe, which comes in at level 11 for
It's a
witches.
cool one though.
It is. The ability to have your own Baba Yaga hut is a very tempting thing. Though, Tenebris does know someone who already has one. You're just nowhere near him.
He has a Baba Yaga hut?
Yeah. You've heard about sightings of a witch near Kymel that apparently the sightings have been of a hut on chicken legs that has been roaming around the forest near Kymel. Which is where he told you he'd be going. So,
Yeah.
anyways, but yeah, good goblins. You do notice that Worm seems to be putting on a lot more weight than you would have expected.
Worm's getting swole.
Getting fat or
No, big.
getting bigger?
He's like, you wouldn't say fat, but he is expanding. Not like a Labrador that just become a larger and larger barrel. Like,
That's fat.
yeah, no, more like the best way to describe it would be if like a boxer suddenly became a bulldog. Like the silhouette has changed.
So we have been insisting that it must just be that he's shaping up now that he's not in a city, but we are insisting a lot and believing it a lot less now.
Well, and you've been noticing this over the past, like it's this. You started noticing this change in Western.
There's steroids in the water on restaurant.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask after your octopus. Hey, is your octopus larger than it used to be?
That's
That's a hell of a sentence, isn't it?
Or just
I mean-
my dog?
I mean, I didn't have the octopus that long. So,
Maybe it's just a time thing. Maybe if your octopus was in the bathtub longer, it would have expanded too.
looks at the water moccasins on his shoulders as like,
They shrank,
water
actually.
moccasins. It's like, let them soak in the water in Western and they become boa constrictors sized. Be a big ass venomous snake.
Might be worth going back to Western if that's what it is. So keep an eye on Worm and see what happens.
Make me a nature check. Anyone who wants to, while looking at Worm.
Nature. Do I have nature? I do have nature. Why not? I'll nat 20 that check too. Why not?
high intelligence score. Let's see what this does. I will also nat 20 that apparently.
24, and a 16. And a 16. 2 16s and 2 24s. Nice.
I am aware that he is a good dog.
Yeah, I mean, good goblins. He's a good dog. Davina, Worm's a good dog. Worm is the only person around you still trust, possibly.
I don't have a lot of
Certified
notes
good
on
dog.
Worm.
Yeah. Najka and Tenebris. Worm, Worm is magical, and that's weird in the first place. Magical dogs, not very common. Najka, you're both reminded of oh god, what's the hang on. You are both reminded of something that you've seen in the mountains of Whitestone, the mountains around Whitestone. The Whitestone Mountains have over the years evolved in sort of like a protected natural park kind of situation, where it's protected by I can't think of the name of the creature that the gray something.
You're thinking of the Gray Render?
Yeah, it's protected by a gray, like the city itself is protected by the gray render, but as is the mountains around it. But because this gray render has been sort of like protecting the nature around it, it's sort of started to take on a bit of a nature preserve sort of quality. And there is a recently you've gotten reports of sightings of very large, intelligent dogs or wolves of some kind. Intelligent as in can speak common. In the mountains around in the mountains around Whitestone. And kind of like how a wolfhound looks more like a wolf the older they get, this is kind of what it feels like to the two of you is happening. That as Worm gets older and higher leveled, Worm is starting to take after possibly some mixed heritage that didn't really have the opportunity to present itself on the island.
Or in Kymel.
And is now asserting itself. You're pretty certain that Worm is a warghound.
What's this? Worm is evolving. Ding, 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 ding.
And, yeah, like, you're not certain what Worm will look like when this process is done, but there's a lot more muscle mass in that dog than there was before.
Good to know. Yes.
I'm gonna just straight up
Interesting.
ask. I'm just gonna ask Worm if he knows his parents. What his parents are.
You can speak with animals?
It's a hex.
Yeah.
If I can figure out where I'm at. That's purple. There's green. Elder tongue. Hex elder tongue. Lets
Yeah.
me speak rudimentarily.
Yeah.
Rudimentary.
So not quite animal speech, but yeah.
Yeah.
Worm doesn't have any memory of parentage.
Okay.
Worm's earliest memory is scavenging for scraps amongst ruins, and then the goblins finding him.
Okay.
You do know, assuming that you've used the speech to communicate with Worm before. Worm seems to be also growing in intelligence as well as physically. Worm can't speak common, but Worm definitely has a better grasp of what is of common now than he did when you first met him.
I pat Worm and call him a good boy.
Oof. But yes. So. You set up camp. Who's taking watch?
I mean, we have a usual watch rotation. I don't remember what it is, but we do have one.
It's the good goblins all night long, taking rotations inside Martin Victoria, Worm as Worm pleases, and then y'all sort of figure it out around that.
I know Najka usually takes one of the late shifts because she's one of the few people in this party with dark vision.
I think everybody in this
I can
party
take a
has
late
dark vision,
shift
don't
too.
they?
Huh?
No, most people. This is one of the rare parties where most people don't have dark vision.
The good goblins have it.
I've
Davina doesn't.
I fixed not being able
I
to see in
don't.
the dark.
Although Davina
Yeah, like
can with
Tenebris
Aura
didn't
Sight.
have dark vision until they got Devil's Sight.
I think Aura
I just
Sight,
got Devil Sight.
I think Aura Sight might let you see in the dark. Let me check. Not Martyr, Mystic. Martyr sees in the dark for different reasons, because they've stabbed their own eyes out.
Everything is dark.
Oh, it's not. No, you can use Perceive the Unseen to see things that are invisible or hidden creatures, which technically would be like seeing in the dark, but now, okay. I don't know if you have enough psi points for that. I mean, you probably have enough psi points to use it, but it's concentration for
I
a
have-
minute, so. You'd be using
Yeah.
a lot of psi points to do that for a whole watch.
She's not gonna bother with. If other people are taking watches, she's not going to bother with taking one right now.
So we'll say Najka takes the evening watch, Tenebris takes the one before or after Najka.
Probably after Najka.
Grouper will give assistance to Tenebris. Elefir will give assistance to Najka, and Worm will give assistance to the good goblins. So all three of you go ahead and give me perception with advantage over the night.
Am I rolling?
Yes, perception with advantage.
Natural 20.
Ah,
Natural 1.
I did great.
Would you like to use an inspiration on that?
Nah.
Okay.
If we get ambushed, we get ambushed, and then we'll do a fight. It's fine.
Fortunately, this area is not particularly well traveled. You're still fairly near the road, and you know that there are tribes of barbarians that roam the plains, but they tend to roam the plains on a seasonal basis, and you're sort of like you're in. Have I determined what time of the year you're in right now?
Not that I am familiar with.
I think you're in summer. I'm gonna say you're in summer. Yeah, I think you're in the middle of summer. Because you got back together during the spring. Anyways. So yeah, you're in the middle of summer right now, so it's not really a big migration time for the various herds of barbarians that roam the dividing plains. So you're not too concerned about that, so long as you don't wander into their territory. And yeah, it being wide open plains, Najka and Tenebris, you're able to see basically anything that's moving on the plains well before it gets anywhere near you. Most things seem to be just giving you guys a wide berth. Good goblins, you've spent the last several weeks watching for threats in a city. It is so boring here. Nothing is happening.
That's great.
You end up spending most of your watch watching Worm as he's just digging various holes.
He's much more interesting anyway.
typically. But
By digging various holes, I mean Worm walks to a spot in the earth, barks at it, and the earth opens up to reveal whatever was there.
yes, barks at it, and the earth goes poof,
That's a pretty fascinating way to dig holes.
as Worm intimidates the ground into giving up its treasures.
So proud of that dog.
As is usual, Worm's collection of bones grows larger over the course of the evening. And in the morning, he does nudge whoever has the most recent watch in the morning. He nudges awake with a mouthful of good berries.
Tenebrous was on the second shift, so
So we'll say Tenebrous is the one that gets handed some good berries in the morning as he'll start waking up.
Here, have some breakfast from the dog.
thank you, Worm. Good boy. Pat, pat.
And yes, Worm will distribute good berries amongst the party to anyone who wants them.
Early morning calorie bomb.
As a reminder, one good berry is enough to feed you for a whole day. Do not hobbit it and eat more than one.
What happened?
That is some gut blocker and will ruin your metabolism.
If you've ever eaten too much fiber, you know what will happen. No, it doesn't ruin your metabolism. It ruins whatever bathroom you end up using next. It all comes out one way or the other. Anyways. Yeah. First night, fairly uneventful. You continue wandering. Give me another survival check, whoever wants to, for the second day.
I have
Can
a
I
plus 0.
provide
I will
this-
roll, but
If I have a +1, can I provide assistance to
Sure.
Tenebrous?
Sure.
All right, so advantage.
Yeah, roll advantage. As the only person here who has a +2 at the minimum. Yeah, 60.
Yeah, Worm also only has a +2 to his survival. Fire only has a +1. With 16, yeah, so pretty consistent going. As far as traveling is concerned, still rough terrain, but you're still getting the hang of it as you're leading the way, Tenebrous. Grouper giving the occasional pointer about, not that he's particularly good at crossing large swaths of dry land, as he says from the back of Martin Victoria in his portable hot tub or cold tub, as it were. But he'll shout out navigational pointers to assist, along with Najka pointing out things that might be a bit less obvious from your perspective. Height wins out again, but you managed to maintain that steady forward progress as we set up for a second camp. Anything anyone wants to do on the second night of camping other than setting up camp and making perception checks?
no.
I got nothing.
All right.
No.
And give me perception checks from the Watchers, with advantage again. The 3 that did perception previously.
9!
21.
I did good this time.
Invert.
Najka, it's boring. There's not a lot
Yeah,
happening.
I mean,
Like you end up spending most of your watch tinkering with things because there's just nothing to see.
there's nothing
project.
happening. It's the middle of the
You have an
plains. There's
interesting
nothing around.
project to work on.
Yeah.
The hyperfocus is strong.
10% good goblins. Nothing really approaches. Again, because you're on fairly wide open plains. If anything were to be approaching, you'd see them from quite a far ways away. You do get the idea that if the torchbearers were sighted, they're probably not there anymore. Given that you probably would have seen them moving about the plains at some point, and you haven't seen any sign
Yeah.
of them moving. So whatever ruins you're going to, either they weren't able to get into it or they've already gotten whatever they're looking for. You do notice that over the course of the evening, Worm, at some point, starts really tugging at something under the ground, and by the time everyone is like getting up and getting ready to start moving, Worm is still digging at something just outside the camp.
I will go check and see what that is and if he needs help. Or if he's just doing dog things.
Yeah, you want to check what it is? Give me a nature check, just to see how much you're able to tell.
Alphabetical, I can find it. Oh wait, that shouldn't have been advantage. 8.
Well, an 8. You're not sure what it is. It's definitely something buried that he's trying to get at and just can't pull out. Limitations of mold earth. But like,
is it some kind of a bone?
No, it's much more fibrous. It looks like it's like you would say a root.
Okay. But he's been at this like all night.
Not all night. At some point during the night, he started trying to dig it up and wasn't able to, and has continued trying to.
It's been more than like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Are we talking hours?
About an hour or two, yeah.
Okay, then this is important to this dog, and we will help this dog dig up this root.
Give me an athletics check.
What a valuable way to spend our morning. Athletics.
21. You get down there and start digging along with Worm, noticing that Worm's mold earth just isn't able to dig enough out, it seems. And as you get stuff clear away, you realize that what Worm is pulling on isn't a root. It's a cable. It's like a bunch of thin bits of metal that have been twisted together like you would braid a rope. Is attached to something underneath the ground.
Guys, Worm found something, and we don't know what it is.
All right, let's give it a look then.
Can you give me you're proficient with all tools. Go ahead and give me a nature check with advantage, Nashka. Since in 2024, tool proficiency gives you advantage on skill checks for certain things.
18.
With 18. This is pre-calamity metal that has been braided like a rope. Seems to have been,
It was made thin enough to be a cord that could be braided.
yeah, and seems to be really stuck in here. You're not able to see how it's as thin as a rope, and it's attached to something. You're not able to tell what. But you've got one. But it seems like the good goblins and Worm have gotten one end of it free, and you can tell that the other end of it seems like it should have slotted into something. Based on there's like a connection bracket on it,
mm-hmm.
Like it should attach to something, and the cable is, from what you can tell, between 50 and 100 feet long.
And Najka just like start pulling cable and start following it to its source.
Athletics check to see if you can dig out more of the cable.
How big's this hole?
It's not really a hole; it's like a trench at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Flock of Familiars.
All right. What kind of familiars are you?
Fourth level.
What kind of familiars are you summoning?
Winter Wolf Pups.
All right. Yeah. You summon a bunch of winter wolf pups to have them go dig.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Give athletics check with advantage then, Nashka.
2, 3, 4. That is 5 pups.
Same roll.
All right. Yeah,
Apparently, it decided I was done having good rolls.
that's fine. Well, 14's not bad. And yeah, with the aid of the various dogs that are helping and the good goblins, yeah, you're able to follow this cable and dig it out. You've got here 100 foot long, 100 feet of cable with what you would swear is a grappling hook at the other end.
Pick that up out of the ground. Is it like sort of the hooked shape of a grappling hook?
It's more like a triangle, less of a hook, but yeah. Must have fallen.
Is it more
here.
similar to an anchor?
Possibly. No, it's not quite.
Okay.
It's the size of a grappling hook.
Okay.
Must have fallen here, God knows how long ago, and just got buried. Looks like it was
Oh.
tangled up in some roots.
I mean, she was already planning. She was already designing armor that would involve a grappling hook. So she's just gonna start coiling up this rope and hook.
Yeah, this is so you put in your inventory damaged pre-calamity grapple device. You seem to be missing the device part of it. You've just got the grapple.
Yeah.
Good dog to worm.
Morph.
Good dog to my 5 pups.
Worf, 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 worf.
Less bass, but a series of chattering barks. All right.
So I spend the next hour just playing with the dogs.
Oh, absolutely. And they occasionally they will emit a bit of a chilly breath, but otherwise they are very friendly. But yeah, you dig up some old cable, and still in reasonable condition given the metal. No indication as to what it was attached to before, other than some device.
Might be able to reincorporate it at some point, or maybe find the other half of this device.
Or reinvent it. But yeah, after playing with some dogs for a bit, you continue on. One more survival check for the last day.
With Advantage.
Advantage. 14.
Taga the Advanta. 14.
Fancy
Tired out.
It's,
A bit tired
it's the
from playing with the
gayest
dogs. A bit tired from playing with the dogs. A bit of slower going on the 4th day. But by the end of the day, by the time you're getting ready to make camp, you come across the hill. You're starting to get closer to the foothills of the summit peaks. You're not nearly there yet. The ground shouldn't be rising into the mountains yet. When the ground begins to sharply rise. And climbing this sudden hill, at the top, you find that the ground on top of this mound has been disturbed relatively recently. There's, dirt and sod and stuff torn up all over the place, and like wooden structures that have been hammered in to support scaffolding going down. And as you all get closer to it and look down, you can see that the inside of this mound is a pre-calamity structure. And it seems like the scaffolding has been put in place to hold it together while somebody went down into it. And they just sort of left the scaffolding here because it's not worth the effort to pull it back out.
Well, this looks like the place.
So, how do you want to proceed?
Nashka will start climbing down.
All right, athletics check.
Before she goes down, Davina's gonna look around to see if she notices Hawk following them at all.
You don't notice Hawk visually, but you do. There is that mental connection that lets you know he's nearby.
Okay.
With an 8, Nashka, yeah, you swing down
There we go. That's an 11.
An 11. You begin to climb down. You grab. This is not a failing of yours. This is a failing of the scaffolding. As you grab a bit of scaffolding, and it just breaks from having been exposed to the elements and left unrepaired for some amount of time, and you fall.
That's fine. I can take a fall.
You all watch as Nazca just disappears.
I will come
Shite!
down after very carefully.
You take,
Tenebris
you take
is-
13 points of falling damage as you fall about 50 feet and into the ground.
Tenebris is going to grab a rope, tie it around himself, and hand one into Marta Victoria.
Yes, this is a good idea.
Gets up, dusts herself off. That fucking sucked.
You all can hear it. It's not that far down. I mean, it's 50 feet down, but... You start climbing down, Tenebris?
Yep.
Athletics checks. With advantage, because you're being tied, you're being held, supported by a rope.
How long was the rope of that grappling hook she grabbed?
About 100 feet.
Did she just try and launch it up and catch a spot?
With the grappling hook?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try. Give me an athletics check.
Better question.
I'll
Could
say
I use
actually-
a usage?
Uh,
Could I use a usage of tool belt to basically pull a pressure launcher out of my tool belt?
Not
Just
in
load
this
the
case,
hook
because that's not a basic tool. Good try.
Any item of 50 gold or less.
Good try. No. It would also be athletics with disadvantage because you're trying to throw a heavy metal cord up without any assistance. With an 8 Tenebris, yeah, very shortly you are dangling as this scaffolding has not been maintained, and you're climbing down, and even your amount of weight just shatters, and you're just
I just decided that I'm not rolling good numbers anymore.
Martin Victoria's holding you up as you're dangling in the air. You watch as the grappling hook comes shooting up and just smacks into some of the scaffolding next to you and shatters the beam and then falls back down.
This is not great.
Guys, their scaffolding sucks. Just like they do. It sucks.
Davina's still at the top. Can she see this happening?
Can I lower Tenebris down?
You get how much rope do you have?
They usually come in 50-foot increments.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage for Martin Victoria.
Yeah. To be clear, tool belt isn't just for tools. It is any
I know.
non-magical item.
Yeah,
Worth up to 50
something
gold.
something with the power to launch that heavy metal that much distance with any accuracy would be more than 50 gold.
Okay.
With 18, yes, you are able to lower Tenebris down safely. Yep, Tenebris, you are lowered down to the ground next to Najka. You are looking around. You both have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Yeah, looking around
Yeah.
from where you're at. The damage and debris here is relatively new. It looks like the torchbearers probably blew open the ceiling to get in. You're not certain necessarily what this facility was or what it was a part of, but most of the damage that you're seeing around is new, and it sort of obscured the original purpose of the site.
Mhm. Whatever they might have been looking for is probably further in anyway.
How much dust has settled? Like a couple of days, a week.
A few days worth.
Okay.
Like, not. You probably missed them by less than a week.
Well, I guess let's see if we can set up a way for the others to get down here.
Meanwhile, up top, how are y'all? Do you have any other further ideas for getting down, or are you just waiting?
I will attempt to lower someone else down if they want.
That's good. She's good where she is.
Firen will offer. I mean, if you want, I can probably lower you lot down to the good goblins, and to Martin Victoria. Since
The
you're
good goblins will leave Martin Victoria behind because Martin Victoria is going to be a lot heavier than the good goblins.
well, since
A
your
lot easier
glove
for
is
them to get down.
yeah, your glove is probably important for whatever's going on down there, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? I forgot about that. So no, never mind. They are bringing it.
Yeah, no, you know, Firen is plenty strong enough to haul Martin Victoria if he needs to. So,
Cool. All right. Is that athletics?
no, it'll be on his part.
Okay.
Firen will. You've got rope. He will tie a rope around Martin Victoria. All right. Hold on, and he just like plants a boot in the back of Martin Victoria and kicks, and just like the rope goes taut as he keeps you from falling very quickly, but obviously is sending you down on at his own speed. The 17. Yeah, no, he's you may have never before appreciated how strong Firen is until right now. As Firen is very handily lowering Martin Victoria down on this rope by himself.
Full ass robot.
Nashka and Firen have the same strength score.
Look out below, love.
I see it coming.
Is Nashka's strength score 18?
Yes,
Yeah,
now it is
yep.
anyway. It was 17 until I leveled up to 8.
Yeah, no, Firen's strength score is also 18. And he's a level below you. But yeah. The Martin Victoria lands safely on the bottom. And if you untie the rope, he very rapidly brings it back up in case someone else wants to go down. But yeah, you are now also at the bottom. He looks over at Davina. Are you going down or are you staying up here?
Going down.
Do you need help?
No.
He just sort of gestures for you to do your thing, then how are you getting down?
Oh, I'm sorry. I assumed I could take the rope.
Yeah, but he's holding.
He's holding the rope.
He's
Yeah.
offering. That's the help. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Then no. Yeah. She will take that offer and she will take the rope.
All right, hold on tight. And he'll tie the rope around you and lower you down. With a natural 20. Yeah, no. He didn't struggle at all with Martin Victoria. He doesn't struggle at all with you.
All back. You all right up there, love? You gonna come down yourself?
I figure I should probably stay up here so you have an exit strategy.
All right. Be safe.
Don't worry, Worm will keep me company. You hear barking.
All right. Let's figure out what the hell they were looking for down here. Martin Victoria, would you like to lead the way with the hand that opens doors?
Shall open the doors.
So first of all, looking around, most of this area doesn't seem like it seems like it's been collapsed in to a certain degree. So it takes you a second to find a way forward. Go ahead and give me either perception or survival to look around to sort of, or investigate, whichever of the three is best from
I
all
will
of you.
investigate.
Perception.
I will proceed.
But again, I have stopped rolling numbers above 10.
What's giving you advantage, Tyrus?
Oh. The fact that I forgot to click the button.
Okay, so 11, 6, 13, 14.
That gives me advantage frequently.
With a 14 from Davina and a 13 from Nashka, takes you a few minutes, but you do manage to find that there is a recessed door that's closed on one side of the rubble that's been sort of clear. It's had rubble cleared away and very distinct, distinctly cleared away so that people can get through it. Pointing to that, the good goblins go over and put the hand on the door. You get that thrum of power as the door reacts, and there's like you can feel the energy as the door attempts to open, and there's just like this metal bending sort of grating sound as the door tries to open and just stays shut. It seems like it's jammed.
Ah, great. They fucked it when they came through.
We're gonna need to break it open.
Well, now that I am aware of how to work with pre-calamity materials, am I able to figure out how to fix this door?
Give me a investigation with advantage.
20.
You'd have to get to the other side of it probably. There's no clear way from where you're at to affect the internals. It looked like you could probably like pry the door open from the middle if you're strong enough, or maybe just wide enough for someone small to get through, possibly.
She'll see if she can force the door wide enough for Tenebris to fit through.
Athletics check. Just without
Tenebris
advantage.
braces
Without
and-
advantage because only one of you can do this at a time. With 12, it's real rough. You manage.
I would like to roll numbers higher than 5.
You manage to wedge yourself in and push open. You get it just open wide enough for. You're doing the Final Fantasy 16. You know how Clive like shoves things away so that other people can get past him.
Yeah, just like presses his back against it and
Yeah,
pushes it forward.
you manage to get enough room for one of the good goblins or Tenebris to get through.
Tenebris will go through.
Yeah.
Yep, Tenebris, you go through, and you have to shift your way back out before it slams on you after Tenebris gets through. Tenebris, on the other side, this area is much more like put together than the other. You're in a corridor. Looking back, you can see that there is like a computer station on this side of this door. That theoretically would have the electronics or whatever you'd need to either unjam the door or get it open. But you don't have a way of turning it on.
So one, I'm gonna check the dust on the floor.
This is much less dusty in here.
Okay.
Um,
What
mo-
dust there is has it been disturbed?
So this place is sealed by that door. So what dust there is has been disturbed, but that doesn't give you any idea of a recency.
Okay.
Because there's not a lot of dust in here. What dust is in here came when they opened the door.
Okay. Second, is Noshka able to still hold the door open, or is it?
It'll be another
Or would
athletics.
it be-
It'll be another athletics check.
Otherwise, Tenebris is going to try to call through the door, and ask if the good goblins have that glove that they can pass through to see if that'll power the computer.
I'll pass it.
Try and force the door open wide enough to put the hand through.
Athletics check.
That's better.
At 24, yeah, you're able to get it open and hold it open this time. You wedge yourself in there real, nice and tight so that you're not moving and it's not either. You're not getting out of it right now, and you probably want to get out of it before anybody does anything with the controls, but you're able to keep it open well long enough for...
It's fine. She'll jam herself in there and sit there until stuff is passed over.
You can hold it open well long enough for the gauntlet to be passed over.
And then I'll take the gauntlet over to the computer to see if it does anything.
You bring the gauntlet to it. As the gauntlet gets within a certain proximity, yeah, you watch as the electronics begin to power on. That ambient electrical field that this gauntlet generates, being enough to sort of start turning computers back on.
Once machines start to turn on and she can tell that, she'll slide her way out.
Yeah,
the
machines
door.
start to appear on, and you start to feel pressure real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
Tenebris will
get out of the way
Start.
as it slams shut behind you.
start messing with the computer, see if it can find controls.
Going to give me just a intelligence saving throw, just to see how well you are at fucking with the computer.
And saving throw.
The 9.
I'm gonna inspiration that.
Go ahead.
There we
Natural
go.
That's better.
20. Yeah, no, you're looking at it. I mean, there's only so many ways that this thing could be programmed, right? So you start fiddling with things. You're able to, because you read Primordial, you're able to read. You can tell that this is a
Mhm.
form of Terran. And yeah, no, you press a few buttons here and there, find the thing that says that's the closest approximation to open, hit that, and the door. It takes a minute for it to get enough energy to really pop itself open, but yeah, the door slides open and a bit of the wall on top of it sort of collapses in. It's now passable and will probably never close again.
Well, we can get in.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what they were looking for in here. Thank you, Tenebris and
Mhm.
Martin Victoria.
I'll hand the gauntlet back.
All right, let's take a look.
And you start walking through, assuming everyone's going in. You begin seeing some amount of writing, like sort of like in the signage on the wall that you've seen in the previous rooms that you've been in. Here, it's all written in Terran, so those of you that read Primordial can read the things that are in here. And from the signage, it looks like you are in a lab for testing what the Terran seems to be referring to as crystallis hover and flight technology. Seems like you all are familiar with how airships function in the modern day, where they use crystals that have been energized with air aspected ether to keep airships afloat. It seems like this lab in particular was working on testing a method of flight for either the floating cities or airships or something that wouldn't rely on that sort of technology and theoretically would rely on the similar technology to what the Ragnarok is powered by. With that in mind, you get the sense as you're looking forward that this might be one of the other facilities that they were using to construct the Ragnarok.
We find stuff here to help. Is the Ragnarok isn't complete, is it?
Correct. It is currently
Yeah,
only
the Ragnarok
in
is still
boat form.
under construction.
We gotta look here for stuff for it.
And it's a good thing that we came here when we did, because if we had come here before I had figured out the inner workings of Pre-Calamity Tech, I might not have been able to work anything out, because we wouldn't be able to bring the Ragnarok here.
Also, aren't the light bearers obsessed with making a floating city of their own? If I
Is that
remember
what
right,
they're
that was one of their
trying to do?
motivations.
Yes, they wanted to make a floating city.
Or resurrect one, at the very least.
Yeah.
So that might be why they're in this specific.
Aye, yeah, that seems relevant.
Looking at the walls, the instructions on the walls, you can see that there are a couple of different places you can go that seem to be still intact. There is some sort of R&D facility, which looks like where their research into the technology would be. And it seems like there is a practical efforts lab, which, based on the description, you would assume would be a place where they're possibly testing prototypes.
I'll try. Does that door open?
Which door?
The place where they were testing.
The practical efforts? Yes, the door. Yeah, you when you walk up to and provide energy from the gauntlet, the door will open.
We're gonna do that then.
Heading into practical efforts. Go ahead and give me an investigation check, everybody.
Najka has the detective's notebook out the entire time and is taking notes on everything she's finding.
Mhm.
17.
I will use my inspiration.
Go ahead.
And again, of note, I am not getting these numbers because I'm rolling high. I am getting these numbers because my bonus is big.
Davina, do you want to use an inspiration on your roll or no?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and do that.
18. All right, 17,
18,
15,
much
and
better.
18. And 7 from Tenebrous. So a couple things that you all notice. You notice that there are a number of different testing stations here, and it seems like the prototypes for these testing stations have all been removed. Looking around, this place has definitely been occupied recently, presumably by torchbearers. As you're looking around, there's nothing here left as far as prototypes that you could scavenge yourselves. But what you do notice, particularly Davina with an 18, Davina, as you're looking around, you almost do a double take. And in the back of your head, you hear Hawk say, "Ready yourself." As what looks like that masked man stands up from the floor, and then another, and another, and another. As all of you see a number of entities with the same faceless death mask stand up and turn towards you. And
Alrighty,
that's where we're going to take our break for a moment. Since you're watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. Remember, when we take our break, you take yours. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A dinosaur story. All right. Let me adjust the audio here for a minute. As you all roll initiative.
I am unsurprised.
As you are all being attacked from multiple angles by, from what Davina can tell, the masked man that haunts her nightmares.
I was gonna ask. So this looks like the guy that always like would watch, but he wouldn't speak.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
4 of him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it looks like to everybody else too?
I mean, to all of you, it looks like a masked man wearing a hood, wielding a rapier.
Look, Ella's incoming.
Hey, just in time.
To die.
Once Jeremy's there we go. Who wants to catch Jeremy up?
Looks like we're in a fight.
We're all about to
We
die.
walked, we made our way into the ruins, and we found bad guys.
Cool. And they're the green borders.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna kill the green borders. Got it.
Specific-
For visual reference, they look as Davina described that one weird dude in the black robe and the mask who never spoke while she was in her prison place.
Mm-hmm. But there are 4 of him,
Sweet.
and Davina's doing really great right now.
I bet.
And yeah, they stood up very creepily just from the ground as you guys were exploring what you have, what was labeled the physical effort room. Basically, it's like sort of a, it was a practical effort room. It was this seems to be a lab that was working on non-crystal based engines for flight. Current airships use crystals that are empowered with air aspected ether to fly. This lab looks like it was creating engines that didn't need that. And this was a prototype testing area, and all the prototypes seem to have gone and been replaced by these guys.
Got it.
So go ahead and when you can, roll initiative.
Yes. Give me half of a
No, you're good.
second. There's my character sheet.
That means I don't have to roll for you.
There's my token. There's my initiative button. 10. Nice middle of the road 10.
Very good. And let me look here real quick, make sure this is visible for people watching at home. There we go. All right, so as initiative begins, the enemy goes first. Specifically this one. It rushes forward. Slightly circumventing Elefira to go right at Davina.
Oh, yay.
Rude.
It has advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't attacked yet this turn. Or it hasn't yet taken a turn. And any
Oh, good.
any
The sneak
hit-
attack damage is
any
gonna be
hit
fun.
that it does is a critical hit. So
Assassin.
Assassin.
Advantage. It makes 2 rapier attacks. It thrusts twice at Davina with a rapier. 16 to hit,
Yep, that hits.
and a 24. All right. Both of these hit.
Yes.
Both of them are crits. I need you to make 2 Constitution saving throws, please.
Jesus
Ah.
Christ.
Both of those are failures. All
Good news is you can only hate poison once.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
So yes,
This
was-
is not my
I was
fault.
rolling
You
great
have-
until you showed up. I'm just saying.
you have the poison condition. And in the first strike, you're going to take... Uh, 13 points of piercing damage. Eight points of poison damage.
Yay, poison.
And an additional sneak attack amount of damage.
Just kill Davina. Just one shot her then.
An additional 19 points of piercing damage.
Jeez, I was
Ah.
kidding.
So for a grand total of...
Was this all in one attack?
That was the first attack,
Yeah.
yes.
Can I silvery barbs that fucker?
Yes, you
Is
can.
that how this spell works?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You in reaction to an attack hitting, you can silvery barbs to give it disadvantage.
I would like to do that.
All right, so we'll re-roll that attack then. An 8 will miss, so the first attack misses. So you don't take all that damage, but you do
And
get
you
hit
do
with the
not
second.
die.
You do get hit with the second attack though. So
Oh, wait. Okay, so what damage do I do? Or do they do?
So you only need to make one. So it didn't. They missed the first one. So go back to full health. I'm going to calculate the damage for the second attack.
Okay.
All right. So you take 26 points of piercing damage. This is already I've already added in the sneak attack for this one. And 11 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned because you did fail the second Constitution saving throw.
In fairness, silvery barbs. Now I don't know if the 2024 version changes. Normally, it gives disadvantage to one thing and advantage to somebody else. You could give advantage to that Constitution save
Yeah, do you want to?
for poison.
I forgot it gave advantage. Yes, I would
Yep.
like to do that.
All right, go ahead and make
That's
another.
what-
Make a second con save then, Davina.
Why it is a broken as shit spell for first level, but I like it.
A 12 is still not enough to succeed though.
Okay. I tried.
Good effort. Good effort. All right. So yes, the first that assassin just runs in and jams, strikes twice with the rapier. A silvery. What does your silvery barb sound like, Jack?
Breach.
A robotic screech from Martin Victoria throws off the first hit, but it comes back around with the second one, stabs you, and you feel the poison on the coating this blade just dip into you as the rapier gets you on the second strike and retracts back out. That's its turn. That makes it your turn, Davina.
Yep. Hold on, I'm looking. Not that. Okay, first thing she would like to do she would like to try to reach out to Hawk
Mm-hmm.
because he had reached out to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Can she communicate with him?
As far as you're aware, yes.
Oh, he's an illusion. Okay, then yeah, she'll say, "Could you help me, please?"
You get the impression from him that he's on his way, but he's being assaulted by torchbearers himself.
Convenient. Okay. So that's Holly the character, not Davina.
Holly the player, you
All
mean?
right, the-
Holly the character, not Davina the player. Got it.
Has been a character this whole time.
Yes, I am but an illusion.
In real life, this is someone totally different.
Sorry, my head is not with me. Okay. She's gonna try this and see if this works. She wants to try psychic domination on one of them.
Okay.
Here, I can put it. There you go.
You attempt to psychically dominate. I'm assuming the one in front of you.
Yeah, whichever one just stabbed her. Yes.
Yeah, you attempt to psychically dominate it, but there doesn't seem to be a mind for you to grasp.
Okay, that's why I wanted to figure out.
It is immune to being charmed.
Okay. That'll pick one.
Does take your action.
Yeah, that is my turn for now. While I try to figure out what my next
Any
turn
bonus
will
actions?
consist of. I will.
Do you have any healing potions you might take?
I don't. Wait, were we given healing potions?
I don't know. Have you guys bought any?
No, I must be thinking of something else. No, I don't. I'm gonna like shift
Yeah,
and yeah, that's it.
you can do that without putting type of opportunity. Absolutely. All right. That makes it Tenebris's turn.
Tenebris is going to turn around and I'll just blast the one right there.
Go ahead and make the attacks. 22 will hit. A 12 will miss. 1 point of force damage. Do you have repelling blast or anything like that?
No.
All right. So yeah, you turn around and unleash this eldritch energy, and it hits the entity, who, like, skids back an inch. Just. Anything else in your turn?
Nope.
All right, Martin Victoria.
I would like to do some healing. See what healing I would like to do.
Have we need to make sure, did we update your healing spells for 2024?
I'm not certain.
Let me take a look.
I do not recall these things.
Basically, when you rolled it, we'll find out if you need to roll it again because it might not have enough dice.
We're going to do one of these. And we're going to use. Hold on. Where's
Yes, it is updated.
Where's my fancy stuff?
Was that aiming for a second level spell?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, it's up to date.
You can expend a bardic inspiration to
Yes.
add to that.
It also uses my. I think my reaction is more valuable for silvery barbs.
Fair.
Right now, given the amount of it won't heal as much as silvery barbs
I mean,
will prevent.
that's gonna heal. That's gonna heal Davina for 28. So that's not nothing.
Thank you.
And then hold on, I think I also get an attack.
They don't have the assassination ability after you've taken your turn, so they're not going to be nearly as deadly on the next turn.
Yep.
I get another attack, I believe. Where is...
Oh, Cure Wounds is an action. It's not it's your magic action rather than taking the
Yeah,
attack
but
action.
soul triplets.
Yes, but if you've got something that let you attack as a bonus action, which I think you're...
I haven't used a bonus action. I've just used an action.
Yeah, Soul Triplets works slightly differently than 2-weapon fighting does. You don't. I don't think you have to have taken the attack action to use it. But I'll double check. Double checking now.
No, it says attack action. So I cannot also attack. But I will get 4 extra damage.
Yeah, if you take the attack action to
Right.
attack. Yeah.
Shoot people with my fist.
Yep. You do have to take the attack action first.
So I'll do that next turn. That's it
Alright.
for this turn.
All right. It's an assassin's turn. This one is going to go for Notchka. I'm going to step right up over there. Because Notchka hasn't taken his turn yet. It does have advantage on this attack, and the attack, if it hits, will be a critical. A 17 to hit Notchka,
Nope.
and a 21 to hit Notchka.
Just barely.
All right. Make one Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Fucking
9 is a failure, unless you've got an inspiration you'd like to use on that.
nope.
Alright. So you do have the poisoned condition. And you take 35 points of piercing damage. And 12 points of poison damage. And are poisoned.
Very glad I could come in here at the end to witness the TPK.
You would have been sad if you missed it.
Yep.
This one
It always sucks when your character dies when you aren't present.
moves over here to attack Martin Victoria, who does not get advantage because Martin Victoria has acted already. But it does get 2 attacks. An 8 and a 15. Do either of those hit?
Let's not try to remember my AC. Let's look it up.
I think they both miss.
16 AC.
Yeah, so they both miss.
What are you saying? You don't remember your AC after how many weeks has it been?
Also, it's a different AC depending on if they're in the armature
Right.
out of it.
Elefira.
Yep, and it's not like you've had anything, occupying your attention in that time. The only thing you've had to think about is your AC.
I've thought about nothing.
All right. There is a person right next to me who stabbed my Davina. They don't get to stab my Davina, so I'm going to move right up here and I'm going to stab them. See how they like it.
Seems like a fair course of action.
So let's see. Where's my there's the armature. Advantage because it's on blank. 19.
A 19 will hit. And what type of damage are you using?
All right. She defaults to cold, so I'm saying cold.
All right.
She didn't take the time. She didn't have time to switch it. Don't I get to do something extra? Well, since I've...
You get to give them
they're not
vulnerability to the
bloody.
damage.
That's it. They have vulnerability to the damage. Yep. And yeah, they're not bloodied, so I can't use finisher. So. So that is 20 cold damage. Should be.
Yep, they take 20 cold damage.
And because of Vex, I'm going to.
You have advantage on your next
oh,
attack.
that's next before the. No, I'll fuck it. I'll still use it. I will offhand dagger attack.
Which is part of the same action attack because of the property of your dagger.
Yeah, because
Right.
of Nick. Because of you're not Nick. No, it is Nick.
Yeah.
Is the
20 hits.
For
For an extra
4
4
damage.
Yep. As you stab into it with the armature and then stab in with the dagger, with the offhand dagger, it doesn't react like flesh and blood. You're pretty certain these are constructs.
Okay, cool.
and you still have your bonus action. Is there anything else you want to do with it?
Oh, that's right. I
Because
do
of-
still
because of
have my
Nick.
bonus action.
That's the advantage of Nick is it lets you keep your bonus action for other things.
Right. I could just stab him again.
Yeah. I mean, you,
Okay. Did we get a
Long
rest
rest.
before we went in?
yes, you've had several
Yes.
long rests.
You should be
Okay.
fully rested.
So I have my
Your tools and stuff. Yes.
Yes.
my tools and my
Relics.
ritual.
Yes.
Rushed incantation.
Yes.
All right. Then what spell can I cast as a bonus action here that's gonna fuck them up?
Okay, well,
I don't know. I think Rush Incantation is all action, isn't it?
I think it's bonus, but let me check and see. There's a casting the spell as a bonus action.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
I need to look at I need to look at the range of the spell real quick. It is range is 100 feet. What's the area of effect? 30-foot radius sphere. So let's center it. I'm going to center it in a way that it hits this dude and this dude. And bonus action cast zero gravity. So they have to. I don't even know if they get a save for it.
So there's no way that it hits those two and not either you or Najka.
I don't mind being hit.
All right.
I'll float. I don't give a shit.
Well, here's a
Especially
zero
if I'm
gravity
floating
environment
right next
within
to
a
them.
30-foot radius sphere centered on the point used in range. In a zero gravity environment, creatures and objects hang in the air until they are moved. Creatures in zero gravity may move only by pushing or pulling against a fixed object or surface within reach. Its speed is otherwise zero. Once a creature or object is set in motion, it can't stop moving until it collides with an obstacle. The creature automatically continues its movement in the same speed. Having to wait, the zero requires second force to move. All right, so yeah, you and both of them
Whoop!
are now in a zero gravity field. Let me figure out what spell effect I'm going to use to signify that.
It doesn't say how high up we go, but
You don't go anywhere until somebody moves you. You're sort of your speed is zero.
Okay.
Basically.
You're hovering
Push them.
slightly off the ground.
push them in the air. Then they cannot attack Davina.
Let's see.
One of the benefits of the 2024 changes to grappling means that poisons no longer makes me worse at shoving people.
We'll use this. Linger.
30-foot radius is bigger than you think it is.
That is a 30-foot radius, 30 feet from the center.
Yeah. But I mean,
I've got it. It's just that I have to align the thing. There we go.
That's my turn, by the way. Actually, I'm moving. I'm going. No. I'm going to stay where I am just in case they don't get shoved up.
There we go. All right.
What is in this? What is this radius for?
That is an anti.
It is a zero
That is
gravity.
a zero
field.
gravity field. If you move in there, if you get into that field, your movement will be zero until you push off. Until either you push off on something or something pushes off on you.
Alternately, if you kick them in the groin really hard, they'll start to float upwards. I bet.
That sounds like fun.
This one. Can't quite reach Elefira from here. So instead it's going to go here. And flank Tenebris with another one of them. And make 2 attacks against Tenebris. Does a 15 hit you, Tenebris?
Meets.
Alright, and a 20 then also hits you. Do you want to silvery barbs either one of those, Jack?
We're hitting Tenebris.
Yes.
Is it 2 attacks that hit?
Yes.
Then I will silvery barb one of them and give Tenebris advantage.
Alright, one more attack roll. A 17. So the either one of them would still hit.
Oh, fantastic.
Alright. But Tenebris is already active, so this is just normal damage. Tenebris, I need you to make 2 Constitution saving throws, one of which you can have advantage on. This is saving against poison if it matters.
I do not believe it does.
Okay, a 14 is a failure, as is a 9. Alright. That's going to be... Uh, 15 points of piercing damage from the first attack, and 17 points of poison damage. And you are under the poison condition now. And then and then 21 points of piercing damage from the second attack. And 11 points of poison damage. its turn. Nashka.
Oh. Well, first I'm going to attack this thing with disadvantage because I am poisoned. .14 probably misses.
14 will miss, yes.
And my second attack will be a shove, so it needs to make a strength save.
A 4.
Yes. It is going to is Nashka sort of like swings the axe in an upward motion, but doesn't quite manage to like make the edge align properly because she's poisoned. But she will instead just sort of use the haft of the axe to shove this thing diagonally up and away from her.
How much does shove move it?
Shove is an attack.
I think it's 10 feet, but I'm not sure.
5 feet.
5 feet? Okay, so it goes diagonally upwards 5 feet.
Into, if you were imagining it as a 3D grid, the square that is
Yes.
one up and back.
Very good.
In fairness, he will keep drifting.
Yes. At a rate of 5 feet around.
He's 5 feet up. And yeah, just very, very obviously trying to figure out how to correct this. Anything else in your turn?
No, I am not doing hot.
Do you have a potion you would like to drink with a bonus action?
I have no potion
Why do none of you have potions?
because we haven't gotten potions.
Why haven't you bought potions? You've been in Western for how long? The only thing anyone bought was extending shoes and a hairpin and
You know, hairpins are much more useful than healing potions. You don't want
This
your
is-
hair to get in your face.
That is 100% true because they can be used for hair, pinning your hair back. They can be used as lock picks. They can be used as torture devices. They can be used as counters. One hair, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And it doesn't get used up when you use it for one of those things.
Exactly.
Continual use.
you know what they can't be used for?
Healing.
Bringing you back from the dead. As this clockwork assassin continues to try to stab Davina.
I
I'm
don't like
trying
that.
to
I've
help.
Used my
Pick a
I've
new
used my
target.
reaction.
The good news is he can't double damage. He's not critting on you
Unless he rolls a
now.
crit.
Unless he rolls a crit, obviously. But
Don't say that.
A 12.
they said it first.
A 12 misses you, I believe.
Yes.
A 23, I believe, hits.
Yes, a 23 hits.
Make another Constitution saving throw, please. You take 10 points of piercing damage. And another 14 points of poison damage.
Not my fault if I say it after Sen has already said it.
But
I didn't hear Sen, and I only heard you, so that's all that counts.
But it is now your turn, Davina.
Okay. Let me scroll back down. I had the thing pulled up. Okay. She wanted to try desiccate.
All right. All right. So, Constitution saving throw. How many side points are you spending on this?
4.
4? All right. What's your save DC?
I have to go back up to check. Sorry. Where is save DC?
It should be at the top of your spell section of your sheet.
Oh. 15.
Right. You rolled a 17 on the Constitution saving throw. So he does take half damage. So go ahead and roll 4d10.
16 or 8.
That takes
That
8 points of necrotic damage. Does take it though.
At least I did something.
Anything else in your turn?
No, I think that's it right now.
Alright. Tenebris.
Tenebris is going to panic
Fair.
and cast Arms of Vidar
Alright.
at 4th level.
That's not a friend or foe spell, is it?
No.
Cool.
So I need everyone within 10 feet of me to make a strength saving throw, please.
So
Well, fantastic.
Nashka,
Kill me.
Davina, and Martin Victoria.
Do I have? I don't have an aura yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, which saving
I
throw?
don't think it's
Strength.
Oh.
I believe you get. Yeah, I believe
yay.
you get the paladin aura at like 5 or 6.
soon.
What's your DC?
15.
One of the assassins fails, the other two succeed.
E6.
What happens when we fail? Oh wait, six? What's the DC?
15.
15.
15.
15.
You get smacked around by shadow arms.
Fantastic. I love it. Love it.
Each creature in a 10-foot emanation originating from you makes a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 necrotic damage and can't take reactions until the start of its next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage. The damage is increased by 1d6 for each spell slot above level 4, above level 1, and you're casting it at what level?
4th.
4th level.
5d6 damage.
5d6 necrotic
Only
damage.
damage I've taken is friendly fire.
So this one takes 23 points of damage. This one, Davina, I believe that knocks out both Davina and Nashka.
No, I take half of it because I succeeded the saving.
Ah.
Sorry, how much damage?
23 points of necrotic damage.
I'm out.
Also, Tenebris is going to try to run.
There. The two around you
5,
will both get
10,
attacks of
15,
opportunity
20.
because they both succeeded.
I think you said one failed.
Yes, the one that failed was the one that was in the gravity, in the zero gravity field.
Oh, okay.
So before you move that far away, just move to right there for me.
Yeah, just black inky tentacles erupt from the tattoo along Tenebris's arm. Start smacking shit.
A 23 to hit you and an 18 to hit you.
Both hit.
All right. You take. You take 20 points of piercing damage from the first one.
That downs me, so.
And 20 points
Oh,
of piercing
shit.
damage from the second one as well. So the first one downs you, and then you take
Hey.
2 failed death saves from the second one. As Tenebris attempts to flee and then gets skewered by the 2 assassins.
Just a rat on a skier.
That I'm not horribly complaining. As that said, I think that is the most I've seen one person down their own party in a single turn. We went from 5 to 2 conscious.
3.
Or 3. No, that's right. You are still conscious. Number 9.
Yeah.
That
I
was
haven't
How you
even used-
doing?
I'm at 10. I haven't used Relentless Endurance yet.
I think we need to run away, guys.
I tried.
I think we need to not get smashed by our own spellcaster.
Yeah, the problem is you wiped out the whole team before you ran.
Anyway, we need to work on those fight or flight instincts.
Don't worry. You're probably going to be fine.
Oh, gee, thanks. That makes me feel so much better.
Don't worry, guys. Hawk is coming.
Watch, now I roll a natural 1 on my death save.
You don't need to roll a natural 1. You just need to roll below a 10.
Yeah.
You took 2 failed saves on that one.
All right, Martin, Victoria, your turn.
All right. Can I
You're only
cast
poisoned at
spell that one of them's an action and one of them's a bonus action?
Only if one of them is a cantrip.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going.
That said, if you wanted to do 2 healing things, you can cast an action healing spell on one target and use your lay on hands on the other. Yes.
Lay on hands is also an action.
It's a bonus action, I'm
check.
pretty certain. I'm pretty certain 2024 Paladins is a bonus action.
Let's
Oh,
double
please
check
look
the
that up.
rules.
That's not what it says on my sheet.
Paladin, checking here. Player's Handbook, Paladin, class features. Lay on hands. As a bonus action, you can touch a
Yeah.
creature which could be yourself and draw power from the pool of healing.
That's
You
fantastic.
can also expend 5 points of healing from that pool to remove the poison condition. You can do that.
The whole of
You can do that at the same time.
At this, okay.
the whole of 2020 of the 2024 D&D was a mission statement for updating classes is
Healing is good
we're
now.
not worried about power creep. We encourage it. That's our mission statement.
We want the classes to feel more powerful and impactful across the board.
All right. So
Which is
here's
good
what we're gonna
because
do.
it makes me feel less bad about hurting you.
We're
That's the
going
thing is,
to
yeah.
do Davina a level 3 cure wounds.
So that's going to be 36 points of healing to Davina.
Thank you. You
Um,
said 36?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And then we're going to. How much health do you have, Najka?
10. I would get Tenebris before working on me.
Tenebris just downed.
If you go
only Davina.
down, well, I understand, and tactically, absolutely true. A, character decision. B, if you go down, we lose our best fighter, and we're not walking away from this. We're not just running from this fight.
Yeah, we tried to run and it didn't work. So I don't want Tenebris to die, but also I don't want Tenebris to kill everybody else. And also, I think I'm gonna go with I don't want Tenebris to kill everybody, and I won't need Najka to save us.
Okay.
So I'm giving
many-
Najka the healing.
How many hit points of lay on hands do you have to hand out?
I'm gonna spend 5 for removing your poison,
Okay.
and then how much health do you have?
I have 10 out of 81.
I'll just use the rest on you. That's 10 health, remove poison, and I'm going to roll a bardic. D6 and add that to your healing as well.
Okay.
1.
11. All right, cool. It not nothing.
It not nothing. But there's not much more you can say about it. All right,
Alright.
I did some healing.
You did.
This clockwork assassin continues to float away, being unable to right himself.
I knew at some point, the second I saw that spell, I'm like, I'm going to take that spell, and it's going to lead to a hilarious moment at some point. And the
I'm imagining-
expression, I understand that it's a mask, but I feel like there's still maybe some weird body language that gives this, like, confused,
None of the
befuddled
clockwork is working right.
expression.
Yeah, it's trying to walk, but it's
clockwork
not
was
working,
designed to
and it's
work
sort of like rotating
in
backwards.
gravity. So it's
Yeah.
trying to stab, and its arm is just going everywhere because it wasn't designed to work in zero gravity.
And thus the prophecy has been fulfilled.
At initiative 12,
Oh. Oh, no, that's
Uh,
fine.
there is the sound of something being slammed as you all see hang on, sorry.
Oh no.
Clean that up.
Oh no. What is happening?
Hang on.
It's either very good or very, very bad.
You all see another one of these entities, these creatures, come flying in from one side. And crumple in a massive parts on the ground. Hang on. Did that wrong. Where's that?
I appreciate
Then
the
that.
dedication you had to put the token on there to fake us out for 2 seconds. The kind of chaos
And-
energy I've come to expect.
As sort of gliding in over the floor, all of you see Hawk.
Good.
Not
God.
Let's not go too drastic with these statements.
That was an out of character remark.
I'm aware.
I
Say,
just
let's not
throw
get
things at
ahead
you.
of ourselves here.
Right.
No, you could still be crazy. You were just down. You could be making all of us hallucinate Hawk now.
That's right,
That's
could be
true.
that.
You do have some
You do have those powers.
psychic.
Yeah.
He's
and-
going to use his bonus action
Go-
to stabilize Tenebris
Oh, no more death saves. Fine.
with Sonic
If
Restoration.
I've learned anything reading X-Men comics, and I've learned a lot, it is that the scariest enemy you will ever have is
Aw.
the psychic ally who goes unstable.
I am delighted that Tenebris has been stabilized because now, when Tenebris gets stabbed and dies, it won't be my fault.
I mean, yeah, that save would have killed Tenebris.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not my fault.
Yeah, and he's just going to use. Yeah, he's gonna do a brute strike on this guy. As he glides in, reaches down, touches Tenebris to stabilize Tenebris, and then sort of spins around and just throws a kick at this one,
Which one?
the one right next to him.
Okay.
A 20 will hit. And he's going to spend seven points of 7 side points to make that a maximum brute strike. So his attack does 0 because he has an 8 strength modifier, but then it does 7d6 of damage. Because of brute strike. So 25 points of damage, and he's going to spend another 7 side points as a reaction. to add on knockback. So it must be a strength saving throw or be knocked away in the direction that he was hit, which coincidentally is into another person that's in that zero gravity field. Not enough. Alright. So he takes 25 points of damage. And is knocked back into this guy, thus knocking him further back. And they sort of go sprawling this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To that end of the zero gravity field. And then he's going to move over here to place himself between Tenebris and the other one. That's his turn. The assassin is going to see a new target and turn to attack him. And crit him.
Thank you for showing up, Hawk. Here's your complimentary stab.
Right.
Everyone's getting them.
Oh, hang on, sorry. He has potent psionics. He has two. Hang on. He did a little bit more damage to that guy than I thought. Another 2d8 plus his intelligence modifier. So another 17. Yes. He does not make the con save, so he is also now poisoned. As he takes a complimentary stab. Takes 10 points of piercing damage. Hey, and they finally rolled decent on the poison damage, and 31 points of poison damage. Elvira.
I note that's a
Yep.
sliver of his health bar.
So my target is
He's-
drifted
he's-
away.
He's a full Order of Immortal psionic. He's a lot tougher
Yeah.
than Davina is physically.
My target has drifted away.
Uh-huh.
I cannot run to them. Thanks, Hawk.
I mean, you're on the ground. You can just kick off the ground if you want. You just won't be able to stop.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You'd also eject yourself from the bubble and land back in gravity.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to deal with these fuckers anyways at some point. Like, I am going to. I'm not gonna get too close. I am going to push off to get over, angle myself for this dude,
Okay?
and I'm gonna stab him a couple times. I'll stab him and then bonus action. You know.
So you're going to keep going in that
Um,
direction. Actually, I would say that hitting him would
No,
stall your
it-
momentum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And
And
it'd also change his
might
direction.
knock him away so that he will not be able to attack me immediately after. So, armature attack. Did not have advantage. I assume an 11 is a miss.
11 is a miss, yes.
You swing and you just keep going in a circle.
I'm gonna offhand stab him anyways. 17?
You don't have the advantage, but 17 does hit.
No, I don't. for 3 damage,
Which you can double to 6.
which I can double to 6.
Yeah, if you want.
Yep, every little bit.
A little bit helps.
And that was sort of my tank action because of blah blah blah. So
Yeah, you still have your bonus action if you want to do like one of your tools.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at now, and I'm not gonna do that because that's not great. I could do that, but that would be abjectly stupid. Oh,
You have one
I
that Misty
forgot I
steps
can do that. Yes, I could Misty Step. That was the one that would be abjectly stupid.
you. Fair
Because
enough.
you think I'm gonna Misty Step away? I'm a Misty Step
There's
to
an-
fight.
There's another enemy over here that you can step towards,
Where?
next to Martin, Victoria, and Hawk.
True.
You can Misty Step
no,
and
I
step
am
on
going
Tenebrous.
to, because I have suddenly recalled that I have the restorative thing, which I assume is a Neverlight symbol in this situation. So I am going to. It's not a lot because it's my intelligence modifier, but Najka, you're the most fucked up, right?
That's not
Alright,
Tenebrous.
But
Yeah,
in
no,
a physical
Tenebrous
sense, in a
isn't
physical
getting
sense,
healed.
not a mental sense.
Tenebrous isn't getting healed. Not by Ella. Tenebrous is going to live right now, and that is enough for her.
Tactical decisions are being made.
Well, that's
Okay.
also vindictive, but take 2 hit points back.
Look,
I
Tenebrous-
also
Tenebrous
hit
was
Dallas
doing- Kendris was doing such a good job at being brave, and then it all just fell apart.
And it all fell apart.
Well, you
You-
can always try again next fight.
Yeah.
He was
Not this
surrounded.
fight.
That's the problem. He was surrounded and severely hurt and poisoned.
Yeah. He was surrounded half by his allies. All right. We're gonna get through Nashka's turn, and then we're gonna call it after Nashka's turn. And so we just pick back up at the start of the round next week. It is-
Hawk stole the cool thing that I was gonna do, so
Well, I mean, you know, Clockwork Assassin. It's not my fault that y'all didn't believe Davina.
I didn't believe Davina,
That's
so
fair. He floats back. He hits this guy. That's going to stall his momentum. This guy's going to go one more. But that's all he can do. Nashka.
I'm going to step over here and gain advantage on stabbing this thing, or more accurately, axing it.
Please ask it a question.
I have numerous questions to ask. 21.
That'll hit.
Poison condition. Damage. 10 damage.
Good damage.
Good. And second attack.
And yeah, as you dig your axe into this guy, you also now realize these are constructs.
27
27 hits.
for 12 damage.
12 damage. And it's your turn.
No.
All right. And yeah, so we will end there at the end of the round, and we'll pick up next week at the top of the round with the Clockwork Assassin that's about to fall out the other side of the anti-gravity bubble, or the zero gravity bubble. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.